What's up, everybody? It's me again, and it's time to lean in, bitch. Welcome to the Lean, where we discuss all things reality TV, recaps, you name it. I'm your host, Cortez, and I'm here with some of my favorite co-hosts, Jamie, Danny, and Chase for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, child. Season 12 premiere. What's going on, everybody? Hey, Chase, you looking? I see that little shirt, child.
Chase looking rich. Chase looking luxurious.
I know this is Chase show. I was just
She is rich, bitch.
What's the T? What's the T?
What's going on, Jamie? Hey, Danny. What's going on?
Hello.
I see we got Miss John said she was waiting, child. What's going on to everybody in the chat? Like, I'm a little bit more geek, not because of the episode, but because like the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is like probably the show that I don't want to say put the Lean on the map, but the success of last year brought this channel to where we are today. So I see a lot of people that are here. I see a lot of people that I ain't seen in a long time. Kyra,
Welcome back, Kyra. I was just asking about
now.
you. I was asking Cortez about you last night. Kyra said, I ain't seen Kyra in a minute. He said she'll be on Housewives tomorrow.
And look, there she is. Sass K is back, ready to read Garcia.
Sass K. You know, me and Sass K here with each other when it comes to that.
It's good to see everybody. It was definitely an interesting episode. I don't know if it was explosive, like Andy
Miss
said.
Cohen.
Maybe he said what?
Like Miss Cohen said.
Yeah, like Cohen said. I think Cohen took a little sniff of that little booger sugar before he allegedly, sure, allegedly, whatever. But we got a lot to talk about. I mean, it was still some things that we can see what's going to happen with the season. Of course, before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's going to be a long, I'm sure, but very good and entertaining season with Beverly Hills, Atlanta going on right now, Jersey ending, Dubai, all these shows coming on, child. Subscribe and like this video to support. Okay, and I'm looking this way. See, my camera's right here, but y'all are right here. So don't be confused in my side profile. All right. Let me see who's in here. Insurance fraud. It's okay. I feel like
right off the bat.
We got my best friend is in here too, child. My best friend texted me. It was like, child, and he said Dorit is lying. So we're gonna talk about it. You know what? Let's just skip around. It's the premiere. We can just go with the flow of the damn show. Do we really believe this happened to Dorit? Do y'all believe that?
I believe that the event took place.
Okay.
Whether it was a legitimate event or not, we will leave
I
that
guess. I'm on the fence because when they showed that little clip of her later on, willing to spend $5 million on a piece of jewelry, like I'm like, you really gonna advertise that on TV after you just got your jewelry stolen? You go, you know what I mean? Like it just, she's not that traumatized, ready to spend $5 million again.
Listen, two things that I hate to do. Is discredit anyone. I believe everybody, goes through things, and it's our job to support them. Right or wrong, we support them. Another thing I don't like to do is blow up nobody's spot. So, AKA, if it's hot, if the block is hot, I'm not going to be the one to snitch and throw the dime out on you. But something about it is not clean. From the robbers not having no guns when they came into place, to the gate being wide open when they got in. It's a lot to unpack. To the circumstances surrounding Dorit and PK when this happened, and we're gonna get all into it, but it's just a lot to unpack.
Okay, I see a lot of comments. We gonna circle back. We got a lot to get to before that, but there is a comment that TKC put, which I think is that explains how I feel. He says it happened, but it was a setup. So I do feel like yes, it did happen, but she was in a similar setup a couple of years ago, I believe, too, and I feel like it's just another one. Because I mean, the word on the curb is that she owes money, they owe money. So I mean, why not keep having these things to where you can lower that amount of money you owe? But that's just me. So,
but before you get started, Cortez, not even a word around the curb, the word around the pool, because remember she was on vacation and that lady chased her around the pool about $20,000 or having you owe my friend this much money, Dorit and PK, you're broke. So
and
then they brought it up. Barbara said you see her call her. You
see
her
on the show. I had to decline it.
Barbara, don't start that mess. Don't get it started. No mess.
Okay, so let's get started with the actual episode. All right, so I feel like I'm really the most exciting thing for me that I've seen this whole episode was that Garcelle and Sutton are making their way around. Like they seem, especially Garcelle, she seems to be well accepted within the crew at this moment. I mean, at this moment, of course. Now, I don't know if Lash has something to do with
how
it.
Authentic. How authentic it is.
More authentic.
We'll see.
Like at first on the final scene, I was like, "What? Damn, they didn't invite her." But then she showed up, and I was like, "Okay." So Garcelle and Sutton are hanging out at the beginning, and they're in Miami after Garcelle I think she had an event or she had some kind of charity thing for Haiti, right? And they talk about dating. Apparently, they both like trying to get into dating. Garcelle was dating last season, which really didn't go anywhere as a storyline, but apparently Sutton was too. So Sutton, it seems like she constantly keeps mentioning throughout this episode, she's looking for, somebody that is tall and likes cats and all that stuff like that. But in their conversation, they're talking about this whole thing with more so Erika. And Sutton is just kind of expressing the things about last year about the dinner. I was a little surprised they were still talking about that because I feel like that should have probably wrapped at the reunion, but that's just me. But they're basically talking about the news thing that happened last year, which we talked about because it happened as the reunion was on, where Sutton was defending Garcelle, and she basically, in defending her, threw Rinna under the bus by saying that she paid for seats for her at the Elton John charity event years ago. Now, in the other conversation, Erika and Rinna are talking about it. Erika feels like, Sutton talks a lot of shit and she shouldn't talk a lot of shit. And Rinna is just like, she better watch out. So, we already kind of talked about this like briefly when it broke like last year. But like, what are y'all thoughts on this whole thing? Because it seems like now we have, and I think we even kind of felt like Rinna and Sutton was going to have an issue because of it. We've even seen recently Rinna is posting all these things, trying to defend her case on how she did not get those seats. But to me, it seems like Sutton looks like she bought those damn seats for her, and Rinna is trying to cover it up. But what do y'all think of this, and how y'all think it's gonna go throughout the season? Because right now you just have Rinna saying, "Watch out." You know how Rinna is, like nothing glosses over the truth and shit like that. So what do y'all think of this whole thing? Danny, go first.
Well, in the words of my favorite video, that's literally how I feel, because I mean, just like even I know you'll talk more about it later, but it's exhausting, and I feel like it's one of the reasons why this whole situation between Rinna and Sutton and Erika and Sutton is one of the reasons why they keep trying to have Garcelle around now. I feel like they're trying to get Garcelle on their side. They're trying to isolate Sutton because they don't they know Garcelle is going to defend Sutton, and they don't want to go do that. Not that they are afraid of Garcelle, they just want an easy target.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they do. They divide, and then they do whatever they got to do with everybody.
And it's frustrating because everything they say, "Oh, Sutton's always doing this, Sutton's doing that," are things that they do themselves. So it's just like they think that that they're the only ones that can do these things. So
if Lisa Rinna has taught us anything in the 7 or 8 seasons she's been on, it's that she can belabor a fucking point to the point of exhaustion. So we knew last year when this dropped that she was not going to let it go. She was going to ride this till the wheels fucking fall off. Yeah. And it's insane because she's done the exact same stuff. The exact same stuff over the course of the year, saying, Sutton, I would never get on TV and talk badly the way Sutton did. I'm like, girl, Andy, roll the footage because we got years worth of it. I would never screw over a friend. Baby, roll the footage to a year ago.
Right.
And to your point, Jamie, like Rinna dragging this is going to be the reason why Beverly Hills has a 9-episode reunion.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, let's be very clear. We talked about this last year. Rinna don't really have shit going on, so this is the best way for her to get back into the mess. Because to be honest, last season she wasn't really doing anything. The last 2 or 3 seasons she's kind of been blah. So I think this is her way to get back into, because I feel like her, Dorit were on there. People wanted them gone. Like they weren't bringing anything, at least from a viewer's standpoint. And so, I mean, this gets her back. Sutton is still new to the franchise. And, it's a fresh beef for her to beef with Sutton. So, but I wanted to ask y'all, how do you feel about Sutton? Because I like Sutton now, but I can't help but see that she does say a lot of things in these confessionals, a lot of things to the other women. And to Erika's point, when you do talk shit, you kind of get hit. And so I feel like she does throw a lot of shade. Like I was hollering this episode, she's doing a lot of shade, but I think I even saw a comment where somebody said, Sutton is bringing it, but hopefully she can back it up. How do y'all feel about that?
Here's the thing about, everybody knows I'm a slutton. That's what we call ourselves. I love Big Sut. Big Sut, baby. And Big Sut was running wilder than Hulkamania this episode. I mean, she was on one. I think that she has a case of diarrhea of the mouth where she just says it as it comes to her and it's out, and then it's like, oh my God, did I just say that? Whatever, it is what it is. And so with people like that, they're not necessarily the biggest or the baddest. They just say what they say and they keep it moving. And I don't think that Sutton has ever really been in a place in any social group that she's been in before, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where she's had to be accountable for the things that she says.
Yeah.
So I think that that's what we see, and then the meltdown occurs. But I wanted to say something about Rinna. Rinna's doing everything. She's posting these receipts and all of these things, but the only thing that she has not posted is a receipt of the thank you, because that was the point.
Correct.
The point is that you called out Garcelle last season about now overly thanking you and your husband for that ragu.
Repurpose.
So Sutton said, well, since that's the issue, did you thank me for, paying for y'all seats down to the Elton John?
Where's the if you didn't do that, if she didn't pay for your Rinna, where's your receipt for the $10,000 seats you paid for?
Even if she did or did not pay for you, the point was you did not say thank you to me, so why are you bringing this up to Garcelle? That's the point.
Yeah, no, the point was very clear to me on how she was defending her, and
it's clear to everyone else but Rinna.
It's clear. It's clear for Rinna. She just is not saying it. Rinna isn't dumb. Rinna is not dumb. She's very purposeful with the shit she does.
The difference to me with Sutton, though, I agree with everything Chase said. Like, she's never had to be called out on what she said when she said it. But I think with what happened to her last season, I don't know about y'all, but I saw a different confidence in her confessional. Like, if she wasn't as soft spoken, she had a confidence in her confessional. I just don't think she's gonna be a pushover this season. I really don't.
Well, and that's the thing, Danny. We said that last season. So, like, if you look back on Sutton's shit, Sutton stands in her shit. She's never backed off. She's never tried to do circles and said, I never said that. That's not what I meant. She stands in it. She's just not one of those girls who does well under pressure. Her emotions get to her. She starts stuttering. She gets flustered. But she's always, even when Erika was spitting all in her face, Sutton was like, well, girl, we all said that. Like, I'm not changing it. We said that shit. So,
she never,
and Danny, you're right.
Change.
You're right, Danny. I think she's got more confidence. She sees that people like her. So she's
3 seasons into the game at this point, you know what I mean? So I think that they're all at a point, especially Garcelle and Sutton, where like, it is what it is. Like, Erika, I don't believe you.
Look at this comment from Last K. She said, I had a talk with Sutton. Did you talk to Garcelle too?
Did you talk to Garcelle?
All right, Sass, did you speak to Miss Garcelle? Because we weren't here for that last season.
Now, I will say, I like that Garcelle called Erika out and was like, Erika, like, come on, you're being a little stupid right now. Like, you're going to sit there and tell me.
Let's talk about that scene. So a couple things was weird. So one, I was surprised to see her meeting up with Erika so soon, just trying, because I mean, they didn't end on the best note, and then Erika, it seemed like Erika kind of like, oh, let's work it out. And first of all, I want to say Garcelle was not hitting them squats. Mama need to go learn how to do a squat. He was not one low.
Here we go.
I'm just saying. I had to find something to look at. The episode wasn't giving shit. So.
It was the most explosive premiere in Bravo history.
Yes. So in that scene, Garcelle is trying to defend Sutton again about the dinner, and Erika is just like, you talk shit. This is what happened. Blah blah. Now in this moment, this is where I actually started to like laugh a little, because in Erika's head, she feels like everything that she's been vindicated of everything that happened. She feels like basically everything that happened last year has been erased. She's been clear. She's good. She can live her life now and start drinking. I also noticed she's constantly mentioning how much she drinks. She's really trying to push this I'm overly drinking storyline, which we know becomes a thing. But I really like how Garcelle was just like, okay. He's not really believing it. But what got me was when Erika was in the confessional and she was just like, I don't know, you guys can talk to Bravo. Have them go do their due diligence. Like, that's not my shit. Tell them to go find us. I'm like, you know what? Why does Bravo keep her around? Because she clearly just talks all types of shit. And it's just like, she was in a whole legal trouble last year. She was damn near.
She still is.
I mean, she's still is. Last year it was hot. It was really hot.
It is.
Her attitude. Her attitude to production and to Bravo is just very off-putting to the point where it's like, why would they keep her around? I don't get it.
They didn't keep Nene.
And I was going to say that it's giving Nene, like how Nene is giving, like it's turning into that.
She's doing a little worse in confessionals than I don't know. But
Erika got a raise.
When Erika was telling Garcelle that she was cleared of all this stuff, like the way she was talking in her face, I saw like a wild eyes, like almost like she was about to have a breakdown, like a maniac.
Maybe.
Well, and she genuinely is convinced that Sutton pulled shit out of thin air and just brought up accusations, just made it up on a whim. And I'm like, lady, like all this shit was in the press.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I've noticed over the years about their relationship, and this is going to come as a, I don't know if it's going to come as a shock to someone to people that what I think about it, but with these one-on-ones and when they're in group scenes, Garcelle and Erika, I actually think that Erika tried to be Garcelle's friend, and Garcelle has shut her down consistently more often than not over the last 3 seasons. Like,
you know what I'm seeing though?
Erika's not Garcelle's kind of person.
I'm seeing how she feel. You know how she was like trying to defend Denise last year about like cutting off Rinna. I feel like she's kind of like she's defending Sutton and kind of like shutting off Erika in that same way, to where she'll hang with her and try to talk to her, but realistically, she's already made a mind that she's not going to be her friend. Like you can tell, even in the confession, the shade, Garcelle is like, you can tell like they're going to have a whole moment, which we know that, Erika allegedly says something to Garcelle that's like unforgivable. But
she better watch her step. That's all I got to say. Because even though Garcelle may be a little late, she's still a sister. You're gonna come down to this thing talking to no sister like that on my watch, and that's that.
Well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's the same reason why Garcelle can't stand Teddy when that whole thing went down with Denise. Like Garcelle is not a combative type of person, and she saw the way these people were doing other people, and she moves really smart. She doesn't announce her moves, so she's like, "Girl, I see the way you act up. Like, why would I want to bring you close to me if you're gonna like act a fool like this publicly and threaten people? Like, I'm uninterested."
Makes sense.
Sass K is going in on Erika.
Sass K is
in Garcelle. God damn.
Can someone tell me what she's saying? What Sass K is saying?
She said Garcelle's leggings don't fit.
She said her leggings don't fit. She said her hair needs to go or something like that. It's just a lot going on. Sass K,
I know
Sass,
I know Garcelle better not host now, and then in her kitchen, in her breakfast look this season. I know that. Well, that pissed me off last year. We're in the garage having dinner.
So then we get to the actual part where Dorit is with her kids. First of all, Jagger is so cute, but her little daughter is even cuter. Her little daughter was focused. Okay, the push-ups were on point, very cute. Well, sorry, go back. Actually, go back to Sutton and Crystal. They seem to be okay now. I mean, from what they had last year, they didn't really give them much this time, but they seem to be okay. So I was like, okay, Crystal. That was Crystal. Like the true scene, other than at the end.
Yeah.
They still giving her these baby scenes, so whatever.
She wasn't at the end. Crystal wasn't at the
Oh, she wasn't at
the baby.
She was not there.
You know why I got confused? Because they were going to that thing for the party, and then they skipped to that scene. So I thought I don't know. The editing seemed a little off to me in that part. I was lost.
Sutton and Crystal weren't there.
Okay, you're right. So anyway, Dorit's burglary. Now they show this footage. We heard about it or whatever, and the actual episode is called The Break-In. So I should have known there's gonna be some bullshit then. But she was Dorit. She saw that Erika got her Oscar last year, and Dorit wants one too. Now, like we said earlier, it's like people feel like it was staged. People feel like this. I personally feel like it definitely was a little staged. because I just don't understand why have they been caught. I mean, they have a lot of damn money. They Encino is a very nice neighborhood. I guarantee you, if that happened, like if she said it happened, somebody will be in behind bars or a suspect. I ain't heard about that since the week it happened, and I live here in LA. Nothing.
And where like there's no security footage of the people leaving, that's a white folk neighborhood. Then people are in everybody's business. Somebody would have seen something. And then for her to say, please don't take my cell phone, and the man gonna leave it at the front, like, girl, a cell phone? Girl, fuck your cell phone.
It was like the phone being left at the gate, and it was
with the light on. With the light on.
Like, it was like an episode of like Family Matters, like where they just got robbed by like robbers with a heart. You know what I mean? Like what?
Right? Like, oh,
the robber with the big
girl,
heart.
They're telling you they're gonna kill you. They're saying I'm gonna blow your head off, but here's your cell phone. I know how expensive iPhones are. Like, girl, get away from me.
But when they had the scene before with her kids doing martial arts, I just knew that they was gonna come to the rescue and kick the door down and kick the robbers.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know
Very
that.
Monica. Kick down the door and smack the shit.
Well,
why they wasn't in the bed of all nights? Like she
always. You know what?
That's what I was gonna say. It just seems a little. Everything just seems a little off in it. You say, "Oh my God, my kids, not my children."
She's doing a lot of talking for someone at gunpoint.
Right. I'm telling you. Listen, if you
gotta leave now.
In real life, real life, people like to read that beg like that. They usually die. I'm just gonna say that. No, I'm serious because that's annoying. That's annoying for someone to continue to sit there and be talking like you usually. I mean, I can't tell you how to react, but in movies are usually true. People like to usually die because all of that begging and pleading, like they just be like, you know what, bitch, boom. I'm just saying.
And it's like she's milking it because I don't care what happens to Dorit. She don't ever go nowhere without makeup. She's going without makeup in these scenes now. Like she's distraught. It's like she
showed up in sweat.
She's too distraught to put on a face of makeup, but not to show up for filming for 3 hours. Like you said in the group chat, Chase. Like, I'm not going to put on my makeup, but I'm there. I'm here. I'm like, girl, you're concerned that you were held at gunpoint, but your kids are at home with the assistant? Oh, no, baby. I'm with my kids. I'm not going anywhere.
And then you know
what? I think the reason why the kids, maybe that was the night that the colored help was watching the kids.
Oh,
that's probably why.
She said she had the help set her up. They're like, I'm so tired.
She said she had colored help last season, so maybe that's why the kids were in other rooms.
They said, I'll leave the back door unlocked.
And then she looks in her closet. I'm sorry, she looks in her closet and she says, no, I don't want to wear the Fendi. No, I don't want to wear the Off-White. I don't want to wear the Prada, the Gucci. I'll pick the H&M sweat. Girl, you lying. Stop it. Stop it. And your man comes from wherever he came from, and the first thing he want to do is see his wife on camera and film that with them.
Because I went to my kids first.
Absolutely.
That's insane to me. Like, whether it's fake or it's not, the choices that they made, I understand giving it your all for a show, but baby, this whole performance tonight felt like a bitch fighting for her life on a reality TV show. She wanted her spot, and she was going to be damned if she lost it. And that meant, let me not say that. Go ahead. I'm not going to say that.
Tears.
Well, I was going to ask y'all, who do y'all think? Because you know what? Even the next day, everybody tried to give tears. Chris tried to give tears. Rinna tried to give tears. Kyle tried to give tears like twice.
Kyle cries at the drop of a hat. So,
but it
not
didn't
Big Sut. Big Sut said,
Big Sutton said, what else is going on?
Said, listen, I've been putting out fires all goddamn day.
I forgot to take my Mucinex. The pollen is just seem too much.
When she said immigration is holding my stylist, I was like, oh my God, she has brown help. And she was like, he's French. I'm like, oh girl, fuck immigration, bitch.
I was like, I want to hear about that. I want to hear about that thing.
Fires out there that explain them legs.
Oh my God! You're not gonna do Big Sut like this.
You know I love her, but
that Big Sut.
Y'all know Kyle got them little toothpick legs. Not Kyle, Sutton. I'm sorry, Sutton got them little toothpick legs.
Sutton wanted to explode. I mean, Kyle wanted to explode so bad. It was said, "Girl, I gotta go. I've been putting fires out."
Yeah,
Kyle was boiling.
Her tears stopped so quick. She said, "Huh."
But you know what? I hate this. I hate Sutton did that. Because I hate Sutton did that with Kyle. Because
you already know what's going to happen.
Run right on back and be like, well, she didn't really care. She was talking about the the stylist. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go.
And that just shows Sutton is not good in awkward situations. Like the bitch don't know what to say.
You know,
wait, I am cracking up. Wait, this has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. But okay, you guys, I'm gonna spill a little behind the scenes tea. So Jamie is a hot fucking mess, and he tagged a couple of the lean crew members in a picture of the Fox Force 5, and I am hollering because the person who you tagged is Kyle. It's all clicked, and it's so
who you tag is Kyle.
Bitch, you tagged me as the read. What are you trying to say? Hold on, wait. But I'm gonna let that ride. We'll talk about that later. But you tagged Sammy as Kyle, and that is hilarious considering what we as a group have been through the last 2 days.
She loves crying. She loves crying.
You know what Sutton's defense is going to be while she was talking about her stuff and got over Dorit. She's going to say Dorit was fine. My fire still ain't done.
Hello. Well, she came out. She commented and said like it was inconsiderate. I just in that situation I didn't know what to say. It was awkward, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was like, "Oh, girl, we all have pain, Effie." Like that's very much what it is.
You know what? Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I feel like Sutton. I mean, Sutton just probably like Nushka just said. She doesn't care. Not Nushka. I'm sorry. Charles said she don't give a fuck at this point. Like those girls left her to dry last year, so I think she cares, but she's not gonna fully invest into it at this moment. Garcelle and Crystal seem to be her only like true friends, because even Kyle, like in this scene, they kind of talk about the dinner again, and Kyle starts to apologize for not like stepping in more last year, and then Sutton is like, "No, girl, just stop." Like,
it's too late.
It's too late, which I love. I'm like, Sutton, thank you. And she also tells Kyle, like, "Listen, I'm done with Erika. You can be friends with her. I don't want to be." So at this moment, I'm like, Sutton, like, give me your good smile villain season. And at this point, I'm here for. I'm ready to see like what happens with her and the rest of them. So I don't know.
Big Sut said, "You guys don't want to do Housewives? I'm gonna do Housewives this episode." I don't know what the fuck y'all got going on.
I'm glad that Sutton diverted and talked about her problems, because I'm pretty sure Sutton was this close to saying, "Girl, I don't believe that happened."
She wanted to say it, but she remember. I think she was going to say it, but she remember last season. She was
you know what? Do you think that Sutton is going to? You think Sutton is going to step in and do like she did last year and be like, bring up her own?
I think
like,
so.
Hire a private investigator to get into this drama.
I think she'll have a conversation with
Sutton is us. She's us.
Absolutely.
Like she's
will go down in the Hall of Fame if she does that.
Megan King Edmonds would from OC.
Oh, absolutely. I really feel like Sutton will have a conversation with Garcelle and say, "Well, how much do we really know about what happened? Isn't it a coincidence?"
Why did
I love it. I'm here for it.
She would make that lady sound like she a damn slave owner.
She from Georgia. She from Georgia.
Lord have mercy. Don't forget, you know Chase Luther King is here. You better stop.
I'm not gonna touch it.
I see everybody here, and she definitely did bring cookies. She brought those cookies that was in the car from a day ago. Cookie. I was like, Sutton,
the egg and the cookie already went bad in the heat. Like, you can't eat that today.
Listen, Big Sut said they may have robbed. Big Sut said they may have robbed. They may have robbed. What's that lady named Dorit? But they weren't gonna rob her of her appetite. Bitch, you want these cookies? Come on, let's talk about it. I know that's right, Big Sut.
I agree. Sutton is definitely viewers.
Big Sut.
I was crying more than Dorit.
Wow.
Because it is honestly, you know what? If it happened, and if it is real, I hate to doubt that, but if this really did happen, and this is something that she was not clued in on and has nothing to do with and does not know, that is freaky.
I agree.
Yeah,
that is creepy and scary. So I get it. So for those who believe their friend, you know what I mean? Of course, they're going to be emotional when you're saying someone, like, you're thinking, "Oh my God, don't kill my kids, don't kill me. They need their mother." Like, as mothers, I'm sure they were like distraught. You know what I mean? And as good mothers, anyway, they were distraught. I was gonna say something about somebody. Anywho, but yeah, so like I get why they could place. It's very easy to place yourself in her shoes and just have a meltdown over that, because that is some freaky stuff across the board. It's not good.
Yeah, If it's real, I'm torn, but I'm not torn right now because it ain't real to me. So
pass them cookies.
Yeah, right. Pass them cookies. So in the go ahead.
The only thing I do know for certain, Lisa Rinna was doing her good acting during the group scene at the end.
I don't remember.
No, let me tell you who was doing good acting.
When PK came in and hugged and they were saying, "I'm okay, Bubba, I'm okay."
Oh my God, what was that?
Rinna
this is what got me. It was the dog barking. First of all, let me say this: why the dog got to bark when Garcelle come? Why the dog was barking? Nobody else came.
Get me started. I ain't got time for this. Don't get me started.
But no, so when the dog barked and then Dorita's like, "Oh my God, what is it? Who is it? Who's outside?" Like she's just freaking out. Like,
why is that PTSD? You didn't have a dog. Nothing barked. Coincidentally, there were no sounds made.
It was.
So what's going on?
It was too much.
Well, I'm sure you think that Eddie isn't that Teddy's husband's name? Is it Eddie? What's his name?
I don't know nothing about Teddy.
Teddy husband. You think Teddy husband around here installing soundless alarm system?
Because the cops didn't show up until she called them.
His husband is what the Pink Panther would be. Right.
His name is Edwin Sass.
I knew it was something Edwin. Like that. Who cares at this point? She's not on the show, and neither is he. But we need to figure out why these security systems not working. Didn't he install a one in Kyle?
For Kyle too? Yep. And coincidentally, it wasn't fully connected.
Well, did Kyle do all that breaking down and crying too?
Well, let me just say this: the video footage that they did have, I paused and I kind of zoomed in. I'm trying to see, do I know him? Because they look, you can see they had some really good cameras. I don't know how they haven't caught these people yet. I mean, they catch people all the time with very little surveillance at a gas station. So I don't understand how on what's on. I didn't watch it, but like as I was like prepping for this, she was on Watch What's Happening Live, and she said they haven't been caught. She's like, I don't think so. They haven't. I'm like, girl,
what do you mean you don't think so?
Have you not followed up to? I mean, this is something you would want to be taken care of, right? But that's why
I don't know, you guys, because I'm kind of the person that's like, I would have to like, I would have to be partner, and my partner would have to take care of that because I would be the kind of girl. It's over. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't care. Just leave me alone. Nobody touch me. Nobody move. Nobody breathe.
No, I'm calling the police station every day. I need an update.
Doree is very much so a Karen, and she would want to know. She would want to. I'm serious. She would want to have them taken care of, and it sounds weird that she has not followed up with something like that has been so traumatic to her. That's why I can't get with it.
To say I don't know instead of like, no, it's fucking frustrating that they haven't caught these people, and I'm pissed off about it. But I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, but the last part of this, like I said, PK shows up and they all rally around and she's so excited. And I guess he leaves his phone inside. And she's like, "Oh my baby, find the phone, find it, find the phone.
Oh my God.
Find the phone." I'm like, oh this is a lot.
One girl. Oh,
count to 40.
I hope this only goes on one more episode because I can't take that too much longer.
Listen, maybe that was the explosive part that Andy was talking about because the first thing he said when it came up was like, this was the most gut-wrenching episode of Beverly Hills, something like that. And I think Andy, I think they tried to evoke that emotion, but honestly, as viewers, we're not, unless you're a Dorit fan, we're not really buying it right now. But we feel bad for her that she had to go through something.
That's sad. Because she's a human and we have basic empathy, but I don't give a fuck what happened to her.
And who is a Dorit fan after she yelled at Garcelle like that? I want to know. I want to know right now.
Them, the Dorit fans.
Dr. C who says, "Wait, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills premiere tonight? Premiere was tonight? No, child, it was the pre-premiere because that wasn't a premiere. That was a prequel.
You know, I had to do the warm up before the exercise. We just had to warm up tonight.
That's what Garcelle was doing.
I think the season starts next week.
Garcelle was doing the warm up, not the squats.
I'm sick of you, Jayne.
Put your mind to it, go for it. You're gonna break a sweat.
Well, remember, is there anything that we missed before I let the callers on
to say
tonight?
Something before you let them on. Remember, you mentioned earlier about how you guys felt that Garcelle was in the group. I want to say that I don't agree. You know, listen, I feel that when Garcelle came over to Kyle House, they was like, oh, Was I the only one who got that feeling like, oh, what?
Yeah. She seemed like an afterthought. She seemed like
what's she doing here? When they turned around, it was like, oh, hey, girl.
Oh, you're right, because they also said to her, he had a gun to her head. Like, they wanted Garcelle with more emotion, too. And Garcelle was like,
oh, okay.
Erika said, yeah, Garcelle, get a gun to her head. Oh, okay. Bitch, I'm late.
Garcelle like
like a gun, girl.
Garcelle like she wanted to say, did they have a gun in your head when they dropped that $200 million in that bank account or whatever it was?
Look, it never touched her account. Never touched her account. And Danny, to your point that you made earlier, that scene really did reinforce that it was odd that Sutton wasn't invited, or Crystal. And it was just Garcelle. And the rest of the group knows that Garcelle, Crystal, and Sutton have been hanging out since the end of the last season, since filming wrap. So it did give off very big energy. Like, well, one, Garcelle ain't that close to Dorit. Like, they're friendly, but she ain't that close. Why would you only invite her and not everybody else?
I think it was strategic because I'm going to be quick. I think it was strategic because they all had dust ups with that lady last season, and they came out of that. They came out of those situations looking very racially suspect, if we want to put it that way. We don't call them no racist, but some of that stuff was not.
Dorit especially.
Yeah. Well, they came out looking very racist. Danny said, "I can say ain't nobody gonna check me, boo." They came out looking very racist, and I think that it benefits them to include her. Even though they're not enthusiastic about it, they don't like her. She's called each and every one of them on things that they were not happy about, but they're doing it to placate her and to get us to shut up, really.
Yeah, and with Dorit, Sutton, and with Sutton, Dorit, and Garcelle, out of the three, if one gets attacked, Garcelle is going to be the one most likely to speak up and defend the other two. So let's try to be.
Yeah.
You know, one thing we didn't really mention, I mean, it was kind of small, but how I think so it was mentioned, Torian said, can y'all discuss how Erika breezed past Kyle, Dorit, PK, and Mauricio talking about her like a dog, but once permanent.
Very good point.
Sudden. You know, she did kind of breeze past that. She was like, Mauricio, you was talking
about.
You
hurt my feelings. You hurt my feelings. No.
That's true. She did. But I guess that's Kyle's whole spiel. I don't want to have an issue with Erika. I don't want to have an issue with Erika because they did end like that. And I wish that Erika would have kept the same energy with Kyle and made her work. But apparently Kyle does work a lot this season. That's what the streets are saying. They saying she is in the mess. I don't know.
They needed to have that energy with Dorit too, and not just the husbands, because when Sutton led the charge, Dorit was the most vocal backing Sutton up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, not only
little accent.
I think it boils down to politics. If you see these interviews that Erika has done, most especially since Lisa Vanderpump has left the show, she's always called Kyle the leader, the nucleus, the this, the that. I don't think she wants to go against Kyle too harshly because she feels like it may put her on the outs of her show and she needs her check. So I think that if you're looking at it from a monetary standpoint, from someone who allegedly does not have any income and this is their source of income, am I going to attack her when I know that she is definitely, the producer's pet and the queen bee of the show? Or am I going to attack a Big Sud?
Listen, if I was a reality TV show, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Absolutely.
I know you wouldn't, but I'm just saying, in Beverly Hills, they run different. Those girls move different.
Yeah, I will say, Erika must have got a little bump on her check this season because that makeup is makeuping. In this episode, the face was on.
She was watering it down last year to look like she was.
Yeah, it was on purpose
because it was on.
So,
she had.
But you know what, Dorit? What Dorit is showing her how it should be done. You take it all off. You take it all off. Yeah,
she should have put a little bit of it on.
But I'm real quick too.
Okay.
Do y'all think maybe the robbers left the phone because of the Find My iPhone app? Maybe they did.
Oh yeah, that'd be smart.
But then you would have destroyed it. Why leave it alone?
You can just destroy it. Let me tell you this. I have had my phone stolen out of my back pocket in West Hollywood, and they got away clean. I had to get a whole new phone. So
yeah, you can.
Somebody would have done what they're doing.
Trying to help her out.
And obviously, when you steal a phone, you don't want them to call the cops, but to say count to 40. Like, girl, you want a 40-second lead? 40 seconds? You won't get away that quick?
Okay. It's a double standard to answer Torian's question, and hopefully it's brought up and actually addressed at the reunion, but we know that the reunion host.
It's already over. The week is already over now. It's over.
Sutton will. Sutton will. Sutton loves bringing up
maybe
shit.
she'll read it. Maybe she watched the lean and she'll let us know. But we'll go ahead and let a few callers on. Make sure if you're watching right now, go ahead and hit that like button. And of course, subscribe, like I always say, like this video. And our first caller for today is going to be actually one of our first callers ever.
Kyra.
Hey, Kyra. Welcome back to the link, Kyra. What's going on?
Hi, everyone. I've been absent. I apologize, but I did watch this episode, and I have thoughts already. Also, I did not know that Andy said this was explosive. It was very mundane to me, so I'm very shocked by that characterization of that. I love that Sutton is holding that grudge, as she should, because Erika deserves every bit of it. And I love the way Sutton cut them eyes when Kyle brought up Erika. I don't care if we're talking about Dorit right now. If you bring up Erika, I'm done with the conversation. And I'm liking that she's standing by that. I'm hoping she stands by that the entirety of the season. The Dorit thing, it just feels a little too, the day felt a little too set up.
I'm going to talk with
let me ask you this, Kyra. Do you think that if they had not shown that scene with the kids, maybe just went into it, do you feel like do you feel like basically production took away from how it could have maybe came up? You know what I'm saying? With the ending of it.
Yeah, I think Chase brought like there's if you still wanted to talk about this on TV, I think there was a better balance of it. Because I find it interesting that there were no cameras when the women were coming over to Dorit's house. I feel like that would have been more organic than having a dinner at Kyle's house and then Dorit coming over, no makeup on, and then her husband and her leaving her children and then her husband meeting her at Kyle's house for the first time without the kids. That felt very strange.
Overkill, yeah, that's weird.
It felt very strange. So I think there could have been a better balance. The day felt a little too set up. Also, I do think it's interesting that they have not caught them yet, especially if the way it was done, it looks slightly amateurish because apparently where Dorit's house is, there's actually no gates. People should have cameras, but there's actually no gates, so you can drive up on it. But the point is, she made a point to say they took like one of a kind things. You know how hard it is to get rid of one of a kind things and leave no trace?
Mm-hmm.
So I find that strange that she could have had this one-of-a-kind purse or this one-of-a-kind jewelry, which would have been very distinguishable to anyone, and no one has found it. So even if you couldn't find the person, I find it interesting that they have not been able to find any of the things.
Yeah, you can't take a one-of-a-kind diamond necklace to a pawn shop and they're just like, sure, there's a market for somebody to come buy this here at my pawn shop.
Yeah, usually what they do, they would take it apart, and so but the way that the robbery looked to be done, it looked amateurish.
Yeah.
And so that part's also conflicting to me of like, it looked like the break-in was amateurish, but then if you're saying they took one-of-a-kind things, then an amateur wouldn't be able to get rid of one-of-a-kind things without any trace.
No mask, no nothing. I mean, we all see it set it off. Put some on.
Yeah, so that part,
I'm just saying, it was like that bare face. Like I promise you, I can stop that and probably go out of Hollywood.
You can have a COVID mask on.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy because she did a lot of talking. I'm sorry, she did a lot of talking, and I would think if you're doing talking, you may be looking at them at one point or some point. I don't know. Or
even if she said like, their voice, I could just remember their voice. Like something like that. Also, I find that interesting that there were no descriptors of kind of like the actual person. Yeah. I just remember their voice or they're like how they breathed against my ear, stuff like that. Usually, I know a victim would describe.
Didn't she say there were two people in the house with her, and then the video only showed one leaving? Didn't it?
No,
I heard three.
She said three.
Said three, but there was only one person leaving the house. Another person came up
leaving
outside.
the house. There was two walking into the house, but I never saw a third person.
Yes. Okay. And also, I don't know how much time I saw. I know I talk fast, sorry, so I'm trying to get through my points. I also find it strange that there is a whole thing of please leave my phone. Bitch, do you not have a house phone? Though I am a young person, I know 5 numbers by heart for emergencies. You don't know your husband's number by heart where you take the time out to beg to keep your phone?
The police 911. You ain't got a MacBook.
That also felt weird.
BUBBA.
Yeah, I agree.
She got iPads. She got plenty.
Yeah.
She needs.
You have assistants. You have assistants that have all that information. You have
so that part felt so weird. Of like you would beg like to. I'm just thinking about the extra time you had to take. Of please leave my phone. Please leave my phone. I would get it if she was stranded out in the middle of nowhere, but you were inside of your home and you have neighbors next to you. So if once they leave, you can run out and like that just felt weird that she was begging for her phone. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but that part also just felt very weird. Like she's begging for a phone. And I'm over.
Even if you're a robber and I see you leaving, I'm not going to try to stop you and beg for my phone. Please,
Yes, just leave.
Yeah,
just
get the fuck out.
Yeah, just go.
Particularly if my kids
Take
are
that
asleep.
mug.
Just
Please
go.
Your
take
kids,
it.
baby,
Okay,
her kids,
I gotta
her
let you go,
kids
okay?
slept.
No problem. But I love
Bye,
talking to you
Kyra.
all. I'll be back.
Thank you
Nice to
and
see you
welcome
again,
back.
Kyra.
Good to see you again, or hear your
Yes.
voice.
Awesome.
Yeah, hear you.
All
All right, have a good one.
Baby, I would have been like, I got some meat in the freezer. Do you need it?
What's going on,
Take
man?
it.
Welcome to the lane.
Mel.
Or welcome back to the lane, rather.
Hey,
How you
Mel.
doing?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Pretty
Yeah,
good. How
good.
you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. I was just thinking, on Twitter right now, they unfortunately, because even though it was a very sad episode, they calling Dorit the Amber Heard of Beverly Hills Housewives because she up there, doing the most, whatever. Listen, I don't know if she was robbed or she wasn't robbed. All I know is it was a crazy episode. But my focus is they will on Watch What Happens Live, and it just shows how the season is going to go because Dorit, even though she's still healing, she says she was sitting in that chair enough to be mad at Sutton. Now, whatever Sutton said about Lisa Rinna and a dinner, that got nothing to do with Dorit. Don't really have anything to do with her. So why would she get mad? So I just felt like Erika and what's her name? Kyle. So Erika, Kyle, Dorit, and so those
Rinna.
three. And I think Rinna too. They all holding on to what happened at the reunion. And they going into the season wanting Garcelle and Sutton basically to take the abuse that they took last year. If I was Garcelle and Sutton, I probably would go hog wild and crazy on them because I'm not going to sit up here and be embarrassed on national TV again, being talked to all type of ways. They said that in Colorado that it went, nuclear, that it almost got physical there. So I can't.
God.
What's it again?
I said, thank God. I'm sorry, man.
No. I think. Listen, but I hope it's nuclear in our favor. I hope that Garcelle and Cherie and Sutton go to hell off on them because how they sitting up there supporting this woman and then they celebrating Erika on episodes saying, "Oh yeah, she's the best she's ever been," and because she's real right now. I'm thinking, what the hell? So yeah, they up to the old tricks that they were last year, which is crazy. Most series like these housewife shows, they go to the reunion, they come back to the next season, and they reset. They try to do a little change. But for them all to stay huddled up together, teaming up against Garcelle and Sutton, it's the same thing as last year. And none of them are right on the other side. Like Kyle's shady. Obviously, she's throwing over her own sisters, So, she can't be fighting with her sisters for over, 100 years. She always fighting with both Kim and what's her name?
They don't like her.
Yeah.
Kathy, they don't like her.
Yeah, at least you know what? At the end of the day, Lisa Vanderpump, she was right about a lot of things, and they got the show because she was calling them out on their stuff. Now she was setting up things too, but yeah, they even more devious than she was. So I don't know. I hope that Sutton and Garcelle don't get soft. I want them to go even harder. I want them to get meaner because they're doing the same tricks they did last year.
That's true.
Exactly.
I got it going on.
And I'm very surprised that they are still kind of talking about last year so much. I mean, they did start filming very quick, so I guess that's why. But they maybe should have taken a month off to let that cool down because they're still talking about that dinner, and it's just like I don't want to hear about that. I'm sorry, but I'm glad to see Sutton rise up. Hopefully, she stays up.
Well, you know what? In that scene that she was with, that the girls were saying tonight, they said, "Oh, well, she was heartless," and da-da-da. I think that Sutton can be awkward. She's an awkward lady. She's eccentric and very awkward. So I think that in her mind, she didn't want to play into all the stuff that was happening, and she was focusing on herself. She's awkward. She's an awkward lady, and I don't think you got to crucify her for that. She didn't say she should have been robbed. She didn't say something horrific about the lady. She just was going into her own world like a lot of rich people do. They get narcissistic and they talk about their own teas and coffees and the people, homeless or whatever. So that's what rich people do sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna let other people call in. And tonight got me a little I can't believe they're doing the same thing last year. So I don't know. I hope that the three that we have, because I don't include Crystal because she's wishy-washy.
She wishy-washy. She flipped.
How's she fighting with Garcelle? She said the biggest fight she had this year was with Garcelle. I'm like, really? What the hell?
I don't know what that's gonna be about, but I'm ready to see it.
Okay, I can't see what that would be about.
Just
Garcelle was probably wrong.
Better not be defending Erika. And that's
Look at Chase. Some Garcelle was probably wrong. Chase,
Chase.
how you gonna defend the black woman? Then you come at the black woman that fast?
No. I can say it, but they better not. No.
All right, Mel. Thank you. Next caller. Okay. Thank you for calling in. All right.
Bye, Mel.
All right.
Bye, Mel.
Last call for tonight is going to be Miss Lovable Lisa. Hey, Lisa.
Oh,
hey, how y'all guys doing?
How you doing? Welcome back to the
I'm
league.
gonna tell you something. Let me get on my nerves, okay? Every time I look, child, I'm tired. I'm tired of this whole conversation with Satan because every time I look at her, she's saying stuff that she don't want to take. Don't want to take it back. She reminds me of Margaret of New Jersey.
Who remind you of Margaret?
Daddy Chill.
Southern.
Sutton?
Yeah.
Oh.
She remind me of them.
That's a take.
I'm listening.
I'm telling you because I'm getting tired. Okay, okay. You want him talking, then you don't want. Then okay. At first, I did agree with her, but then I was like, hold on. But I'm like, Erika. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you say you did all this stuff, you did investigations and stuff, and all this other stuff, and I don't blame her. I would threaten your ass too, because sometimes you got to push that bitch move on. You want to push, and then when somebody push back, then you want to call victim. That ain't cool with me. She pushed back at you, like she said. She said, "You come for me, I'm coming after your ass. I'm coming for you." And that means anything you say, I'm gonna find out some shit about you. Cause I don't believe Sutton all that goddamn innocent, like you claim, baby doll.
Oh no! This is it. All right, Lovable Lisa, you have a good night. I'm not gonna this on my phone. Oh no, you're not. Now,
so
wait
you
a
know
minute.
what? No, baby. And you know what? I'm like, I'm really, too much. I don't believe, agree with Kyle, but this time I really do. When she said, "Girl, well, I've been putting out fires," so I'm like, "Damn, bitch, where the fuck you come from?" And this woman just said she had a gun up to her goddamn head, and you sitting up here saying, like, tell me what you doing? Child, that little shit ain't going through somebody put a gun to your goddamn head, okay? You can dismiss that shit with me.
So let me ask you this. So do you think that happened to Dorit? It seems like you are more so anti-Sutton.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When it first happened, I'm just like everybody know it did. But at that time, it was a lot of people. It was a lot of celebrities, a lot of rich people houses getting broken into. And what I believe is, and I really do, because I believe they chase. I believe um, they be going to houses they think is empty because you remember she said she just had got back in town. She was out of town in London with PK, her and the kids. Boy. So when they got back in town, people, no Wobbles didn't think nobody was up in there. They probably been casing that place for a long, like, couple of days.
But she got servants, don't she? Like butlers and...
Not servants. We don't call them servants.
You know what I mean? Like butlers.
Well, whatever. And I've been hearing, and this been happening. It's not only happening in that kind of neighborhood. It's been happening out here in Atlanta too. You know what I'm saying? Where these people are casing wealthy neighborhoods, and they are doing home invasions now. Like, to the top now. So I'm not gonna even. I was like, well, no, but now I'm hearing about a lot of it going on. So it probably did happen to her, and if it did, my heart would go out to her, because somebody said, well, about when you in that moment, somebody have a gun to you. Yeah, you worrying about everything. You worrying about your kids. You worrying about things, like she said. None of that stuff makes sense no more, and all she worried about her kids. And yeah, she's talking about the cell phone because I wouldn't be worried. I don't know how people may feel in that moment. And we all know, because if you have a gun in your head, you don't know how you gonna act in that moment.
I'm not asking for a phone.
I don't know why was so busy about the phone. I'm not, like I said, to me, I don't know what her thought process was about the phone. And when somebody got a gun to you and you are begging for your life like that, ain't no telling what thought pattern go through your head. And I'm not just gonna say
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not. I don't know, but I do know at that time a lot of robberies of wealthy people was going on. So like I said, they probably been casing that place for a while. They found out, you know, uh, they wasn't at home, and they didn't. They probably didn't think she was at home. But when she came back, so I mean, but my heart do go out to. I mean, it seems like it was real. I mean, I mean, it to me it seemed like it was real. And I was looking for signs like, bitch, you is lying your ass off. Because my first heard it, I was like everybody else said, girl, you lying your ass off. You and Pete got something going on. But mm-mm.
Okay. Well, we finna go ahead and lay it out, okay?
I'm with Crystal stay on one side. Baby,
Cool.
pick a side and stay there, okay? Pick a side and stay there. Because ain't no way
You
I
want
was agreeing with Sutton. And when Sutton kind of called me out from bull, did not make no darn sense, okay?
you on the wrong side, Lisa. You're on the wrong
All right,
team,
Lisa.
Lisa.
We about to get ready to lay out, okay?
Okay, love y'all.
All right,
And I'm
love
glad to
you.
see all my 3 men back. I'm glad to see my half man back. Love y'all.
Have a good night.
Bye,
Yeah,
boo.
good night.
Ain't it
Okay.
for us up here?
Well, you know what it sounds like is Lisa is definitely anti-Sutton. Hey, and
She
that's
can
I
go
like
on
her
there,
number.
and you can go on, love Lisa. I don't care.
We're gonna go ahead and
Look
block
at
Lisa
Chase
from the chat.
over here going off his boob coming out. giving us Janet Jackson on the right side. Okay, well, overall, good episode, if not better show for us. And thank you for everybody that's watched. And on this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're gonna leave on this note from a quote from Jasmine from our favorite movie, Set It Off. What's the procedure when you got a gun to your supposed to be but to your head? On that note, y'all have a good night. Like this video, and we'll see y'all next week, okay? Have a good night.
Secure yourself.